All right, so in today's video, we're going to talk about something that is coming up quite a bit. So I have a lot of new subscribers. Welcome, and welcome to my old subscribers. Not that you're, age range old, but you know what I mean. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the basics. So some of you may not want to watch this because you already know this, and it just might be a good refresher course for you, but you really need to understand something. We're going to talk about in this video to really step into your fucking power. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Hey everyone, it's Velez, Conscious Life and Success Coach, and I am really excited to be here with you today. All right, so before we dive in today's video, I want to share with you, I have opened my new group. Well, it's opening May 20th. I've closed out my other two Facebook groups and I did a hybrid. So click the details below because this is going to be an amazing group where you get weekly support by yours truly. I do Facebook Lives. There's also a once a month group coaching where you can show up and get coached on Zoom. We do it on Zoom and it's super fun. And then it's such a supportive place. And I'm offering a discount right now for the monthly price, which you can cancel at any time. You're not locked in. So the link is below. It's on my website as well. So check out the details below if you're interested, because once these spots fill up, then it will no longer be a discounted price. All right, so in 10 more days, you will be in there with me and we will start manifesting your fucking ass payback and supporting you in the process so you keep the momentum going. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this, about stepping into your power. So a lot of us have really been brainwashed and taught a lot of limiting beliefs. So what we're doing is we're changing our programming, we're changing our story, we're changing how we see things, we're changing the old narrative in your mind that says why you're not going to get something, whether it's a specific person, it's a new relationship, it's money, it's a job, it's anything you want to manifest in your life. The only thing that blocks you from it are the limiting beliefs, the story, the excuses, and the fucking narrative that tells you all the reasons why you can't have what you want. And that's what the resistance is. The resistance is you stepping into your power versus the old programming, which limited you in your power. So we have to understand that you can manifest anything you want. And this is what blows my mind, is like, if you logically look at how you manifest, if you logically look at all the times you thought a thought and there was no heightened emotion that it came into your reality. And this is, I get a lot of pushback on TikTok from law of attraction people that don't understand law of assumption and they want to debate, you can't manifest a specific person, which, hello, like 99% of the people that watch me have already proven that they're wrong there, right? Including myself. And then they also want to fucking debate that it's your emotions that manifest, not your thoughts. And it's funny because then I had this girl, which I'm actually going to do a TikTok about because I love this. She posted this. She was like, oh my God, I had a thought yesterday that I wanted a banana, and the fucking banana, somebody gave her a banana and she was like, I didn't have a big emotion around it. And it's like, same thing with parking spots and coffee and like these little things that there isn't a big emotional attachment to. So that is proof right there that it's your thoughts that create, not the emotion. And not to mention that the thoughts precede the feelings always, 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 always. So, it just blows my mind. And it's not about being happy all the time. That's just, you're never going to be happy all the time. You can be content, satisfied. You might have a moment where you feel frustrated. We're human. We have lots of different thoughts going on all day in our mind, around 70,000. And then we have lots of feelings that follow those thoughts. So it's understanding that this isn't about positive thinking, because positive thinking doesn't work. It's about intentionally manifesting and creating a life of specifics that you decide you want to live. So why is it okay that we can decide what career we want? Why can I be specific about a career? Why can I be specific about a dollar amount? Why can I be specific about a car? But I'm not supposed to be specific about a person, the relationship I would like to experience with a specific person, or anything else. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why is that off limits? And people say, oh, because you're human and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, well, you getting your car, you getting the house, you getting the job, you making the dollar amount of money you want, guess who's all involved in that? Fucking people. So it's just really dumb to me. And it's like, I am so awakened to this. And I really understand, because like I said, I practice what the fuck I preach. Like, I can catch myself, even to this day. Like, I know when my mind is on autopilot and it's focusing on a narrative that is not favorable for me, whether it's just something general or, you know, if I'm like, people are getting on my nerves, like it's just this autopilot, right? I get very aware of it because I turn into like super bitchy and I'm like, you know, and then I'm like, oh, I don't like that. And then I understand, like, if I keep, there's a story, it's not my feelings, it's a story. I'm agitated because I'm noticing people getting on my nerves. And then I keep reaffirming it because I'm focusing and bringing it into my awareness over and over. People getting on my nerves. Well, then guess what? I keep manifesting. Duh, right? This is what I'm talking about. Like, we know how simple this stuff is, right? So this is understanding how powerful you are, that it really is your thoughts. And it's really more about, you know, Neville talked a lot about neutrality, and a lot of people do talk about neutrality. And you have to understand that the emotion only comes from the meaning that we give the story. So some people, when they're manifesting a certain amount of dollar amount, they're not excited about it. They're just like, cool, I'm down for it. Bring it in. I want to manifest that, you know? And then there's someone else who's manifesting the same dollar amount and they're on fucking top of the world thinking about it, you know? And then there may be someone who wants to manifest this dollar amount too, the same dollar amount, but they have a negative emotion attached to it. And why is that? Because they don't believe they can have it. So there's a story that says, even though you want this, they rebuttal it in their subconscious mind with all the reasons why they're not going to get it. So each one of those produce different emotions. And that's why it doesn't matter. It's understanding your thoughts, because when you have negative emotions, it means there's a story spinning that isn't good for you, that isn't going to manifest what you want, that's telling you you can't have what you want. And I will say this, because a lot of people on TikTok, they bring up Abraham Hicks to me because she's like the main, you know, the dominant voice out there in current times for law of attraction, really, like one of the biggest, right? And it's not that she's wrong, because if you really listen to her, because I used to listen to her all the time until I really learned law of assumption on my own and found Neville myself and started understanding it for myself. And now I don't listen to her anymore because she does both. You could tell, it's so obvious, especially when she talks about manifesting relationships and specific people. She's very clear about focusing on what you want. And her advice is usually going general if you can't focus on what you want from the person, right? But she always says they'll come back, right? But I believe that a lot of these people stay mainstream because that's the mainstream, because they're going to get the largest following because people are brainwashed. You know, I'm not going down that road, right? I'm going down the road of the truth. I want to empower as many people that are ready to hear the fucking truth. I want to share it with you because it makes me understand that I can create whatever I want and that I don't have to suffer in relationships anymore, that I can actually break my own pattern of habitual thinking that has manifested the unfavorable outcomes. And that's what I'm teaching you all. So you have to start understanding and testing this for yourself instead of just listening all day long. Start practicing law of assumption, which means just focus your fucking thinking on what you want. Pay attention to your mind. Take notice every day of where am I thinking? What am I focusing on in my brain? Most people don't. Most people take, 30 seconds in the morning and 30 seconds at night to focus on something, and all day long, their old programming is just going 100 miles a fucking minute. And guess what? Doesn't change, So this is the thing, is you keep your eye on the prize, like with anything in life. That's how you manifest what you want. This is the difference between, they say the difference between someone who's successful and not. It's not luck. It's fucking their mindset. Anytime something in their reality showed up that told them they weren't getting what they want, they didn't accept that as the truth. They looked at the circumstance and then they went in their mind and they affirmed a story subconsciously or unconsciously, whatever you want to call it, or consciously. And they affirm saying, I'm still going to get what I want somehow, some way. This is working out for me. I'm going to manifest this. This is what I'm doing. I have done this with every specific person I've manifested back in several times. I have done this with all my careers that I have chosen. I was very specific with the career that I wanted and I manifested making it happen. And I was very specific with dollar amounts and manifesting abundance and detailed ways of how I wanted to run and operate, my two businesses. So you can have whatever you want. You just got to convince yourself. See, there's no one else to convince outside of you except you. You just have to keep focusing your mind on the outcome, the story that says you get what you want. And this is where the resistance comes into play a lot, because we have such an old story that's telling us all the reasons why we can't, especially with manifesting a specific person. I know, because I had to be aware of this myself, and I still do. That when my mind wants to focus on the old version, the old experience that I had, I have to stop it. I have to say, is that what I want? Does that even matter? That was in my past. I created it. I have to take full responsibility for it. So why am I digging it back up in my brain? What is the purpose of that? And sometimes this happens, especially, it tends to happen for me if I'm feeling run down, which I am, by the way. Like if I'm getting a cold or just something really minor, like I could just tell I get a little bit more irritable. And, we're all different. For me, this is when it happens. I don't know why, but it does. So maybe I need to affirm a new story that when I'm feeling run down, that my mind is still easy peasy to keep focused and directed. But I notice that because I'm like tired or exhausted or whatever, because I'm feeling run down, then it's like my brain wants to, I don't know, focus on shit I don't want it to focus on, right? So I have to redirect it a little bit more. But you're gonna have days like that. I mean, it's just part of being fucking human. You can't escape it, right? But as long as you keep redirecting your thoughts, you really do have less and less of those days. And that's what the momentum is about. So the only thing you're overcoming is a story that you have subscribed to that tells you why you can't. And your mind pulls up all your limited experience because that's the only experience it's had. So it's gonna show you all the reasons why. It's gonna give you the litany, the fucking list of all the reasons why you're not gonna get what you want, right? And tell you, well, see, they're doing this, they're not doing that. They said this 3 weeks ago, they fucking didn't do this 6 months ago. This is your history, This has never worked out for you in that way. It's gonna go down the fucking list and it's gonna want to remind you, because all it can do is take your past experience collectively and say, here's all the reasons why whatever you're focusing on, you're not gonna get. Your job is to override that old circumstance, that old programming, and say that shit doesn't matter. What matters is where I'm focusing my brain now in this moment, because that's actually creating what I experience at some point in my future. So I just wanted to explain that a little bit more. So again, some of you already fucking know this, you got it down pat. And some of you, this is really just a refresher. And some of you, this is gonna be like life fucking changing, the game changer for you to understand how powerful you really are. It really is your thoughts. Don't worry about the emotions. Your emotions will change the more you're entering the new reality where you're focusing on the version of you that has what they want. She automatically feels different. He automatically feels different because he's not in the same fucking reality with the same people and the same experiences. So it's like no fucking brainer. Like when you really dissect this stuff and understand it, it does make sense, and it's not that hard to understand that our thoughts do create. But again, there aren't a lot of people who explain it, and there aren't a lot of people who explain it well and aren't utilizing the power themselves. So when they tell you, they're only telling you from their own experience. But this is where I need to tell you, if you're somebody who's on the fence and not sure, just fucking stop listening and start implementing and see for yourself. It is not my job to convince you or anyone else. You come to me because you're open to the information, whether you accept it or not. That's 100% on you. It has nothing to do with me. So you decide for yourself. But the best way you're going to decide for yourself is to you need to practice. So you develop your own belief system because you're the only creator of your reality. I'm creating my reality just fine, knowing my truth. So you have to decide for you, you know, you're gonna get off the pot and go fucking start practicing the law and testing it and putting it into use so you can start building up your own confidence in this or not. It's up to you. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did, and I will see you in the next one.